One of the two of the words that was important that we learned yesterday were nectar and pollen. Who can raise their hand and tell me what nectar was? What is nectar? Let's see. Anya?
It's something bees drink.
Yes.
Flowers.
It's like a sweet, yummy drink inside the flower that the bee can drink, the honeybee can drink. What is pollen? What is pollen? Oh, I'm seeing hands go up. Estelle?
The sticky stuff that sticks to the bee's leg.
Very good, and I love how you said where it sticks. If you look at this circle right here, the white powder is kind of sticky and it sticks to the bee's legs. That brings us to our next part. The bee comes to the flower to sip the nectar. Then he moves to another flower, and that is called pollination. Pollination. Remember, a bee visits one flower, sips its nectar, flies to the other flower and sips its nectar, but the pollen gets transferred from one flower to another. That's how plants are able to grow and change into an adult plant. Adeline, did you have a question?
How are flowers made?
That's how they're made, sweetie. You plant a seed in the ground and you give it 4 things. What are the 4 things? Water, air, food, and sunlight. And the last thing is honeybees help with this. They land in the flower, drink the nectar, and they help to pollinate it by moving the pollen from one flower to another. That is how a flower is made. Okay, let's get back to today's discussion. Today, we're going to learn more about another part of the plant, the fruit. Here are some examples of different types of fruit. Raise your hand if you recognize some fruits up here on my poster. Shout out a fruit that you recognize. Let me call you. DJ, shout out a fruit that you recognize.
I recognize the watermelon and the pineapple and the banana and the grapes.
Okay. The watermelon, pineapple, banana, grapes. Very good. Anyone else recognize some fruits? Jonyan.
Avocado.
Avocado. Yeah. Yummy, yummy, yummy avocado. Let's do Russell. What are some fruits you recognize?
Watermelon.
Watermelon. Very good. Elliot?
Apple.
An apple. Very good.
And strawberry.
And strawberry. Nicole.
Apple.
Okay, apples.
Apple, banana, mangoes, like grapes and orange.
Very good.
Here.
Okay, put our microphones on mute. That's good.
Peaches.
Yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to move on. I will call on you guys later for different things. Remember, pollination is the process that helps plants make seeds. The fruit is the part of the plant that contains the seed. So, what makes a a fruit is the fact that the fruit has a seed inside of it. Sometimes the seeds are on the outside, but it has a fruit has a seed on the inside or outside. The title of today's read aloud is The Fruits of Polly's Labor. The fruits of someone's hard labor is the result of what happens because of someone's hard work. Listen carefully to find out more about the fruit of Polly's labor and the delicious plant part. Okay, here we go. Buzz, buzz, it's Polly the honeybee again. Last time I told you that I visit flowers to collect nectar and pollen for food. I also told you that I help pollinate flowers by carrying pollen from one flower to another. Do you remember what else carries pollen from one flower to another? How else does pollen move from one flower to another? Let's see. Anya.
By air.
Wind. The wind blows the pollen from one flower to another. That's right. Adeline?
The sun.
Not the sun. Not the sun. It's another animal that helps move it. Ryan?
The wind.
Yep, we said the wind, but there are some animals too. Elliot?
The bug. Butterfly.
Butterflies are an example of an animal that can move pollen from one plant to another. Nicole?
Bees.
Yes, bees. There's also bats and moths. They help as well.
And hummingbirds.
Today I want to show you some...
Hummingbirds.
And hummingbirds, yes. Let's stay muted. Today I want to show you some of the results of my hard work. You see, after I pollinate a flower, the plant begins to produce seeds. Produce means to make. If you produce something, you make something. Lots of plants also produce a special part to hold the seed, called the fruit. So plants make fruit. Come along and I will show you some different kinds of fruits that I help create. Here is an apple tree. Earlier this year, this apple tree put out blossoms, which is another word for flower. Apple blossoms are full of delicious nectar, which makes me especially love to buzz over and roll around in these blossoms. The nectar was scrumptious. What's another word for scrumptious? Does anybody know? What does scrumptious mean? What does scrumptious mean? Ryan?
Delicious.
Delicious. Delicioso, as Dora would say. Very good. Okay. Apple blossoms are full of delicious nectar, which makes them scrumptious. But look, it was good for the tree too. Remember when bees visit the flowers of plants, they carry pollen from one plant to another. That's called pollination. This apple tree is now full of apples because a honeybee friends and I did such a good job pollinating the blossoms. The apples are fruit. Inside of each apple are seeds that can grow into new apple trees. The apples took weeks to grow. They were small at first, but then they got bigger and bigger. Now they're almost ripe. when the apples are ripe, they will drop off the tree so the seeds can fall to the ground and start to grow a new apple tree. Or a person may come along and pick an apple and eat it. Here is an image of an apple that has been picked off the tree and sliced open. You can see the seeds. The seeds are the dark brown things in the center part, which is called the core. Some people like to cut the seeds out of the apple before they eat it. Some people also cut off the peel on the outside of the apple. This green part is the peel, and this part in the center is the core, and the brown parts are the seeds. Here's another tree I pollinate. It's called a cherry tree. Some time ago, this tree produced lovely pink blossoms or flowers. Let me tell you, there's almost nothing more beautiful than a cherry tree in full bloom. My bee buddies and I spent a lot of time visiting this tree when the blossoms were out. And look what's happened since then. The flowers are gone now, but that's okay because they did what they were supposed to do. Now the tree has begun to make seeds and fruit. Have you ever bitten into a fresh cherry? Raise your hand if you've ever had one. If you have, your teeth have probably bumped into a cherry seed. Inside a cherry is a big hard thing called a cherry pit. Here the word pit means the hard part or middle of some fruits that contain a seed. The word pit can have other meanings too. Pit can also mean a hole. The seed of a cherry is actually inside the cherry pit. The tasty part of the cherry that people eat is the soft fruit around the pit. To people, that seems like an important part of the cherry. But to the plant, the most important part is the seed that can grow into a new plant. Why do you think the seed is the most important part to the plant? Why is the seed the most important part to the plant? Smearty?
Because the seed actually helps the plant grow.
Right, you can make a new plant out of the seed. Why is the seed not important to people? Why is the fruit part the part that's important to people? Are we? Why is the fruit part the part that's important to people? Unmute your mic, sweet girl.
Because they eat it.
Yeah, we eat the fruit. That's right. We don't need the seed. We can't eat the seed, but we can eat the fruit. Very good. Have you ever bitten into a fresh cherry? Oh, wait. Now here is a different kind of plant. This is a strawberry plant. It put out flowers a while ago, and my honey-making pals and I visited those flowers as well. Who are Polly's honey-making pals? What kind of animal is she? She's Alan? What kind of animal is she? What is she, Alan? She's a honeybee. Okay, you can mute your mic back, Alan. Now you can see that the plant is making seeds and fruit. We must have pollinated it. The fruits on this plant are called strawberries. You saw how the seeds of the apple and the cherry grow inside the fruit. With the strawberry, it's the other way around. The other way around means the opposite. What is the opposite of inside? What's the opposite of inside? Outside. So see how the seeds on a strawberry are on the outside. Okay. Look at this ripe strawberry. You can see the seeds all over the outside of the strawberry. The seeds on this strawberry are so small that people can eat them along with the fruit. So if you eat the seed of a strawberry, it can't hurt you because they're so tiny. Here's one last plant. It's a watermelon plant. This watermelon plant bloomed a few weeks ago. I visited its flowers and found the nectar to be quite delicious. I brought some back to my hive where the worker bees made it into honey. But look, the watermelon plant has been busy making something too. This big green thing is the fruit of the watermelon plant. It's called a watermelon. The green part on the outside of the watermelon is called the rind. The seeds of the watermelon are on the inside of the rind, along with some red, juicy fruit that people like to eat. Here's a watermelon that's been sliced open. Can you see the black and white seeds inside? People spit out the seeds when they're eating the red, squishy part of the watermelon. Well, that about concludes my little tour. I'm very proud of the pollinating work I did this year. I hope you will think of me as you munch on the fruits of my labor. Delicious fruit is truly the result of Polly's hard work carrying pollen from flower to flower. Okay. Whew. Let's talk about this. What do we call the special part of the plant that holds the seed? What do we call that? The part of the plant that holds the seed. Russell? What do we call the part of the plant that holds the seed?
The stem?
Not the stem. We've talked about it. It's the part of the plant that holds the seed on the inside. This is a watermelon, but it's also called something else. It's a what? Nicole? Nicole, what's this? The part that holds the seed is the what?
I have a question.
No, I want you to answer my question. I'll come to your question in a minute. Ryan, what do you call this part of the plant that holds the seed?
Paul.
Not quite. Not quite. Austin? That's a good guess, Ryan. I'm proud.
Yes.
What do you call the part that holds the seed?
Seed. No.
What holds the seed inside it?
The fruit.
The what?
The fruit.
The fruit. Very good. All right, boys and girls. The part that holds the seed is called the fruit. What's the part that holds the seed? Everybody, say it. Don't unmute your mic. Just say it. The fruit. The fruit, the fruit, the fruit is the part that holds the seed. Okay, what's another word for blossom? What's another word for blossom? DJ, what's another word for blossom, DJ? Unmute your mic. Oh, he's got to get someone to help him. What's a blossom? We'll come back to DJ. We'll come back to him. Who can help him out? What's a blossom? Let's do, are we?
It open up. It open up. A flower.
A flower. That was a good try, DJ. A flower is a blossom. A flower. That's another word for a blossom. Okay, the flower is important because if the flower is pollinated by the honeybee, it makes and turns into a fruit. It produces a fruit. Okay, what are some of the fruits that Polly mentioned? Who can tell me some fruits that were in our story? Ooh, who can tell me some fruits? Elliot, tell me a fruit that was in our story.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay, try to do that before we come in, okay? All right, you can go. Just put yourself on mute. All right, what do we call, Anya, what are some of the fruits that Polly mentioned?
Apples.
Apples, she talked about apples. The seeds in the apple are in the inside of the fruit. Very good. What's another fruit that Polly mentioned? Smearty? Oh, I see Grant. I'm going to come to you next. A cherry. Good job. A cherry is another fruit that Polly mentioned. Grant, what's another fruit that Polly mentioned?
Watermelon.
Watermelon. Is that like one of your favorites? Yeah, watermelons are good. Very good. Okay. How is a strawberry different from some of the other fruits? How is a strawberry different from some of the other fruits? Adeline, how's a strawberry different from some of the other fruits?
They got leaves.
Close. Ryan, how's the strawberry different?
The pot is outside.
The seeds are on the outside. Very good, Ryan. The seeds are on the outside, and in the other fruit, the seeds were on the inside. Very good. Okay. That is all we have for today with our listening and learning. You guys did a fantastic job. We will meet back tomorrow to learn some more. We have a virtual field trip in the morning. I want you guys to do that. You're going to visit a pumpkin patch on the virtual field trip, and we're going to talk about it. All right, friends. Bye-bye.
Cook?
Yes.
When we do the autumn fun stuff, activities, when I try to do stuff, it just goes to the next slide. How do we do it?
I know. Don't put it in present mode. So if you put it just as a raw slideshow and you don't put it in present, it'll let you do it. Okay? All right.
Do we have faculty today? Where is the present button?
So if you're on, I'm not sure what it looks like on an iPad, but if you're on the computer, when you open up the file, the present mode is in the top right corner. Don't put it on present, just leave it regular. Thank you, sweetie. Ryan, did you have a question?
Do we have faculty today? Tomorrow?
Do you have what tomorrow?
Faculty tomorrow.
Higgerty? Yeah, I have the link on there. Yep, sweetie, you can watch it.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye-bye, sweet boy. Bye, Alan. Bye, Alan. Chopsticks up the nose.
Well, he plays the whole time, every time.
I know, and the parents aren't monitoring him at all.
And then sends a brother in there until he gets a little loud. That's when the